we just learned that in Russia, they had 3 months holiday. Oh, that's a long time. So, and also during pandemic, some of change our way to learn, right? So I think we must have been experiencing that learning at home online. So, do you miss school? So what's really fun? Do you miss about school? So today, the fun they had is really an interesting topic to talk about at school. Okay, so over to teacher Nadia for bringing this wonderful topic for our session. Welcome.
Hello, dear friends. Hello, dear teachers. I see teacher Lucine Jangilian from Russia. By the way, she lives in the same region with me. So we us live in Krasnoyarsk Krai. So yes, GMT +7. And by the way, right now we are experiencing severe forest fires. So our region is on fire, and we have so many houses have been burnt down, and it's quite a disaster right now. So when spring begins, when May begins, because of the dry weather, many regions in Russia, those which have forests, suffer from forest fires. So, but today we will start with a festival note because last week on May the 3rd, there was a traditional Teacher Appreciation Day. You know, different countries have different festivals, and they celebrate them either together or separately. Teacher Appreciation Day was originated in America, in the United States of America. But it got quite popular around the world, and we can even celebrate a week or a month of teacher appreciation. And we chose a special story to be read today, which is quite popular among the educators and students. That is the story by Isaac Asimov, The Fun They Had. So though Isaac Asimov was, he was a science fiction writer, and he wrote this famous story about school. So, and we started talking about long summer vacation in Russia, and not all the students loving school, being tired of schooling. And imagine you will have some different school, and maybe then you will miss your real teachers like us. And teacher Winnie told about learning differently. Yes. Our session today is a kind of a class because we practice our language skills. We speak and listen using our English abilities, and we learn something new every lesson. That's why happy Teachers Appreciation Day and happy reading to all of us. So first we will, teacher Annie will separate us into breakout rooms, and today we have got some new members. And I will remind you that you can join us you can join our WhatsApp group, or you can email any of us, or maybe you can email me, and you
talk today
to be informed. Every Tuesday, as a rule, we are having a reader session, and so what we are going to do, we will read a color-coded script which will have different roles, and every participant, every student, and even teachers are welcome to participate and read the text aloud. After we read the text aloud, we discuss it, and then we usually play a kind of quizzes just to have a further discussion of the story. So we are waiting for breakout rooms to start. And you know, I was surprised to learn that students in India, the story in the student book, which is called Beehive for grade 9, and Abhishek in her school, he even shared the tasks from his student book. So the story is quite popular. and I guess you might have heard it or even read it. So I wish all of us happy reading, enjoying the story, The Fun They Had by Isaac Asimov. I will share the Wakelet link in the chat box. We have different resources. Well, you know, I forget I have got a video. We can even watch a video, so slipped my mind. Shall we watch a video before we start this session? Or what, Teacher Winnie? I forget.
What is this?
We are joining. We are joining. So dear students, you have to, so this is our main area, right? We are in the main room. And we have some students on us. So let me see who is here. So I see Mary from Indonesia, Sheha from Sri Lanka, Roya from Indonesia, and I don't see anybody else. No. Teacher Amy is still separating the students, yes?
Yes. Nadia, we can start.
Yes, dear friends, you can, right now, you can introduce yourselves. So look, I'm teacher Nadia, my name is Nadezhda, my short name is Nadia. I'm an English teacher from Russia. I live in the time zone GMT+7, Russia is a big country. And it is right now 7 p.m. in my place. Now you can introduce yourselves. So I would love to give the floor to Veronica from Russia. She is also from Russia, but she lives in another region. She lives not far from Moscow. So, Veronica, what can you tell about yourself? Introduce yourself. Представь себя. Класс назови, имя.
Hello, my name is Veronica Lvova. I'm from Russia. Ostrovskaya Secondary School.
So not far from Moscow. And now you have about 3 or 4 hours p.m., yes?
I live not far from Kostroma.
Kostroma, yes, Kostroma, right. In the village, right. Now, I see Sneha from Sri Lanka. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Okay, my name is Sneha Fernando. I'm from Sri Lanka. I'm 13 years for July. Yeah, I'm a student in Hope from November PTF, and nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Are there any more students here? I don't see anybody else on the screen. All right. Who else would love to introduce himself or herself? Nindi, Indonesia. Can you talk about yourself? What grade are you in?
Nindi, please introduce yourself. Nindi.
All right. Who else would love to introduce himself, herself? Or we will start reading. Okay. Now, if you would like to introduce yourself, please unmute yourself and talk. Yes, Nindi.
Hello, my name is Nindi.
Hello.
I am 10 years old. I am from Asia Elementary School, Malang.
So you're from elementary school. Nice to see you. Are there any other students willing to introduce themselves? So my screen is misbehaving. I can't see anybody else. Okay, now I'm going to share the screen, and we are going to read the story of the fun they had by Isaac Asimov. Look, it was adapted by Olga Nikiforova, another Russian teacher, and myself. So the story we are going to read is set in the future, when books and schools, as we know them, will perhaps not exist. How will children study then? Learning through computers in a virtual classroom, having a robotic teacher, moving and read text. What are the three things you like about your school? And what are the three things you would love to change in your school? Can you tell us? So, what three things you love about your school? And what you would love to change? You can unmute yourself and talk. For example, I love communicating with students and teachers. I love teaching students and telling them something new. I love making projects at school. And what I would love to change is what I would love to change. So it's not easy to say. So maybe I would love to make students more responsible for their learning outcome. I would love to make students more hardworking. So this is my opinion. Now, would you love to change something in your school? And what do you like about your school, dear students? All right, now we move on. Have you ever read words on a television or computer screen? For example, now we are going to read words on a computer screen, yes? Can you imagine a time when all books will be on computers and there will be no books printed on paper? Would you like such books better, or why? Why not? Imagine you have no paper books, only books online. So, no paper student books, only books online. Would you like to have such books? All right, now we are going to read the story, and we need some characters. Teacher Amy, how many students do we have?
We have 6 students, teacher.
6 students, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll read 2 parts. So yes, so we need Tony. So do we have a boy? No boy.
No boy. No boy.
So a boy and the girl, the main characters. Grandfather, mother, inspector, mechanical teacher, narrator 1, narrator 2, narrator 3, and narrator 4. So we have only 6 students and 2 teachers, 8 of us. All right. Now, let it be maybe Sneha, you will read for Tommy. Sneha, you will be Tommy, and maybe grandfather. So not so much to say. Only once, grandpa. Sneha, all right? Then comes Margie. Maybe, well, I don't know. Maybe Veronica, you will be Margie. Will you be Margie, the girl? Veronica, you will read for the girl. And then comes, yes, Sneha. Then comes mother, not so much of mother, and the inspector. Maybe, well, I don't, Mindy, will you read for mother, for example? Mindy. And I need inspector, so not so much to read. Okay, let it be Roya, for example, Roya. You will be inspector. Then we need mechanical teacher, narrator 1, narrator 2, narrator 3, and narrator 4. Narrator 3, narrator 4. So can you please, teacher Amy, give me some other names?
We have Zafir from Indonesia.
Dafia, you will be mechanical teacher, Dafia. And maybe you will read narrator 1. Mechanical teaches very little. So narrator 1, Dafia. Dafia, narrator 1. So who else do we have?
Sneha, Priya.
Yes. Neha, you will read narrator 2. Neha. Priya will be narrator 3. Priya, and who else?
Yeah, enough. Enough, teacher.
Narrator 4, one more person. All right. Maybe teacher Amy, you will read narrator 4, and I will read those who are silent. Yes. Teacher Amy will be narrator 4. All right, now let's start reading. Margie, Veronica, begin. Margie, thoughtfully as writing.
May
17.
21st, 5:55.
Veronica, 21:55.
21:55.
Dear
Dear Jane,
30 years after today, 30 years later. Dear
Jerry, today Tommy found a real book.
Dafia, narrator 1.
Zafir.
Yes, ma'am.
Zafir, yes.
Okay, you narrator 1.
It was a very old book. She remembers her grandfather telling her.
Yes. Now, Sneha, please read grandfather's words.
Okay. In elderly voice, I remember when I was a little boy, my grandfather told me about how stories were printed on a paper. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awful funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on the screen. Surprised voice. Then, when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it the first time.
So imagine, so I have got a book, a real book, and when I turn the page before, the words are printed on the same page. And look at the computer screen. I'm moving the words and the text is moving. So this is what it will be like in the future. So look, the books were crinkly, old and crinkly, or wrinkly. Okay, here comes Tony. Tony, please read. That is Sneha again, Sneha.
Okay. Gee, what a waste. When you're taught with a book, you just throw it away, I guess. Our television screen must have had 1 million books on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away.
Margie, Veronica.
Sandwich mine.
Same with mine. Narrator 2, Neha.
Okay. She was 11 and hadn't seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13.
I think it was.
Where did you find it?
In my house, in the attic.
What's it about?
School.
Margie, scornfully, mockingly, you are laughing.
School. What's that to write about school? I hate school.
Yes, so Margie doesn't love school. She hates school. Yes. Narrator 3, Priya.
Margie always hated school, but she hated it more than ever.
The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse.
Mother, that is needy.
I just don't understand. We will send for the county inspector.
Inspector, Roya.
Here, Margie, have this apple while I take the teacher apart and fix it.
So, Margie's computer, Margie's mechanical teacher has fallen down, has broken down, and the inspector has come to fix it. Yes. Narrator 1.
Margie was really hoping he won't know how
To put it.
to put it together again.
You remember that Margie didn't love school and she didn't want the mechanical teacher to be fixed, to be repaired. Inspector? Roya?
It's not the little girl's fault, Mr. Chance. I think the geography sector was carried a little too quickly. These things happen so many things. If slowed it up to an average 10 years level. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory.
So you remember, teacher was giving tests in geography and she was doing worse and worse. And the inspector says that it was working a bit quickly. So he made it slower, not to 11, but even to 10 years old. And he hopes that Margie will make her tests in geography. So narrator 2, Neha.
Margie was really disappointed. She had hoped that the inspector would take the teacher away altogether, like they did with Tommy's.
Narrator 3, Priya.
But he knew how all right. In just an hour, there it was again, large and black and ugly.
That was so bad though. The part she had the most was the slot where she put her homework and test papers.
Yes. Narrator 1. Zafir.
She always had to write them out in a
punch code.
Code that they made her clear when she was 6 years old. The main
Mechanical teacher
that the mark in no time.
Yes, Veronica, Margie.
Why would anyone write about school?
Tommy.
Because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of school they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago, centuries ago.
Well,
Margie.
I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago, and they had a teacher.
Anyway, they had a teacher. So yes, Tommy.
Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher, it was a man.
A man? How could a man be a teacher?
Well, can I?
Yes, please do.
Well, he's just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions.
A man isn't smart
Enough.
enough.
Too smart. Sneha?
Sure he is. My father knows as much as my teacher.
Yes, Margie.
He can't. A man can't know as much as a teacher.
So, Tommy?
He knows almost as much. I betcha.
I betcha. It is a slang. I bet you, I'm sure. A man knows as much as a teacher. Yes. Margie?
I want to warn a stern man in my house to teach me.
Yes, you know, now we go to school, to a special building, and the teacher teaches you. But at that time, the teacher will be in your home. And Margie doesn't want a strange man, a strange teacher to be at her place. Yes, Tommy. Laughing.
You don't know much, Margie. The teachers didn't live in the house. They had a special building and all the kids went there.
Margie?
And all the kinds learned the same thing.
Thing.
Yeah, if they were the same
Age. Veronica.
But my mother says a teacher has to be
Adjusted
to fit the mind of each boy and girl. Each teach and that is kind has to be taught differently.
Yes.
just the same. They didn't do it that way then. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the book.
I didn't say I didn't like it.
If you remember, Tony found a book about old school, and Margie was in the book and was surprised. Yes. Narrator too. Sneha.
I really wanted to read about those funny schools.
Mother, Nindi. Yourself, your mother. Calling. Margie. Time.
Calling.
Margie.
Not yet, Mama.
Time for school. Not yet, yes. Mother. Nindi. Now.
No, and it's probably time for Tommy to.
So Tommy has to.
Can I read the books some more with you after school?
Priya. Margie went. Priya. Margie went into the schoolroom. It was right next to her bedroom.
The mechanical teacher was on and waiting for her. It was always on at the same time every day except Saturday and Sunday.
Narrator one. Zafir.
Her mother said little girls learn
Leon.
it regular hours.
Right, mechanical. Zafir, yes, you are mechanical teacher, please. Today's arithmetic
is an
addition
of
fractions.
Please insert yesterday's homework in the proper slot.
Narrator two.
But Margie was thinking about the old schools they had when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy.
Yes. Yeah. We have welcome. Priya. She thought.
Nguyen, maybe you want to read narrator 3? Please read the narrator 3.
Please mute your mics. Neighborhood laughing and shouting in the schoolyard. Narrator 4, Amy, teach Amy.
And sitting together in the schoolroom, going home together at the end of the day.
Yes, narrator Zafir.
They even learned the same things so they could help one another on homework and talk about it.
Yes, it was fun staying together at school. Margie.
And the teacher right people.
The people, yes, mechanical teachers are here.
When we add the fraction
1 by 2, 1 by 4. Here is a note. 1 by 2, 1 by 4. Yes, fractions are very difficult for students. Narrator 2, Sneha.
Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had.
Yes, the fun they had. So that is how students will learn in the future. So only a mechanical teacher in their home. Every student will have a mechanical teacher, and they will not go to school together, will not help each other, will not laugh and play together. This is what Isaac Asimov predicted the school of the future. Now, I guess we will stop at this point. And yes, we have other students come back, right, Teacher Amy?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, others have come back.
So
and
we close all room because teacher Yuri and room 1 already come back, and I close the breakout room from teacher Winnie.
The rooms, and then maybe we will watch a video just to remember the story.
Yes. You want always when you're stuck with the book. You just throw it away. I guess our television screen must have had
So, so if all of us are back, we will, so let me see. Let me see if we are back. So some students, yes. Now, Teacher Winnie, I suggest that before maybe we will discuss the results from reading and then we will watch a video. Just to, or maybe watch a video and then we'll have some discussion of the text. What do you suggest, teacher? Shall we watch a video first?
Yes,
I think
yes, sure.
So we have done the story in our groups, and now we want you just to how it will be like in the future, the school of the future, what it would be like. So you watch a video. I will share the screen, and then we will discuss, and then we will play quizzes. Just a brief video to remember the story of the fun they had.
Chapter 9, The Fun They Had. Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary. On the page headed 17th May 2157, she wrote, "Today, Tommy found a real book." It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, you know. And then, when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had had when they read it the first time. "Where did you find it?" Margie said.
"In my house."
Tommy pointed without looking because he was busy reading.
"In the attic."
"What's it about?"
"School."
Margie was scornful. "School? What's there to write about school? I hate school." Margie had always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. He was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. He took the teacher apart. After an hour or so, he put it together again, and once more it became the big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. The part Margie hated most was the slot where she had to put homework and test papers. She always had to write them out in a punch code they made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no time. The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's head. He said to her mother,
"It's not the little girl's fault, Mrs. Jones. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick. I've slowed it up to an average 10-year level. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory."
And he patted Margie's head again. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?"
"Because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of school that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago."
Margie was hurt. "Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago." She read the book over his shoulder for a while, then said, "Anyway, they had a teacher."
"Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher. It was a man."
"A man? How could a man be a teacher?"
"Well, he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions."
"A man isn't smart enough. He can't know as much as a teacher."
"My father knows as much as my teacher."
Margie couldn't dispute that. So she said, "I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me." Tommy screamed with laughter.
"You don't know much, Margie. The teacher didn't live in the house. They had a special building and all the kids went there."
"And all the kids learnt the same thing."
"Sure, if they were the same age."
"But my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and that each kid has to be taught differently."
"Just the same, they didn't do it that way then. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the book."
"I didn't say I didn't like it," Margie said quickly. They weren't even half finished when Margie's mother called. "Margie, school!" Margie said to Tommy, "Can I read the book some more with you after school?"
"Maybe,"
he said nonchalantly and walked away. the dusty old book tucked beneath his arm. Margie went into the schoolroom. It was right next to her bedroom, and the mechanical teacher was on and waiting for her. It was always on at the same time every day except Saturday and Sunday. The screen was lit up and it said, "Today's arithmetic lesson is on the addition of proper fractions. Please insert yesterday's homework in the proper slot." Margie did so with a sigh. She was thinking about the old schools they had when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. All the kids from the whole neighborhood came, laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the schoolroom, going home together at the end of the day. They learnt the same things so they could help one another on the homework and talk about it. And the teachers were people. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen. When we add the fractions 1 by 2 and 1 by 4, Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had.
Yes. Just a second, I stop sharing the screen. Yes, thank you for watching. And now maybe Teacher Winnie, you will lead the discussion. Maybe Teacher Olga, I know.
Can you send the link of this?
So, you want the link to the film? You know, there is a link to the waitlist in the chat box. And all the links are there. The script and the videos are there. You can click on the link. I will.
The story
So maybe Teacher Olga or Teacher Winnie, which of you will lead the discussion? And then we will play the quizzes.
Okay, how much time? Okay, anyway, my check breakout room, I asked my students, see, amazing. So right now, do you like school? So I would like to ask you, do you prefer to study like a Margie, or you prefer to study at home? So please just, you can show your action like this. If you like to study at home, yeah, okay. I think the first, do you like to study like a Margie? So you don't need to go to school. You just study in your school room. And there is a screen. So how is that? Do you like to study like that? So if you like, you can just show sum up. You like to study like a Margie?
We can write, or we can vote. For example, school like today, it will be number 1. And school of tomorrow, school of Margie will be number 2. And you can vote. So which school do you
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
I see some of the kids. So let's follow Teacher Nadia's suggestion. So school like today, you go to school. There is a teacher, is a man or a woman. And you go to school with your homework and book, right? You have a book. So it's today's school. You like a today's school? Raise your hand or show or type 1. Yeah. Okay. So Nadia like a 1. Oh.
The school of the future in the room and with mechanical teacher and lots of homework in the slot. Then we put number 2. No books, words on the computer screen.
Yeah, I think you can type 1 or 2, and then we can just invite some of the kids or teacher to speak up. Okay, so now, I see 1. Most of them type 1. How about 2? Future.
Previously, students at my breakout room also want to go back to the school after they have a holiday, and I asked them, why do you want to go back to school after a holiday, or do you want to have a prolonged holiday? But they said no. Okay, Katiana or Mihisarani, would you please tell?
They type a 1, most of them.
Yes. I remember when we were on pandemic, we had online classes. Many students and even teachers missed school so much. Yes. We were happy to come back to sit together.
Okay, so let's see the chat box. Most of them.
Hisarani, would you please to say something? Why do you want to go to school after holiday?
Yes.
Yes, madam. Because I like to speak with my friends and speak with my teachers also, and meet them and love them and stay time with them. So it's my hobby, and I like to go to school all days.
Wow, great. Katyana, do you want to say something?
Actually, I want to go to school because one day I have lots of sicknesses, and but after I went to school, all the sicknesses was gone away. I don't know why, because I have spoke to my friends and been happy and laughing, and I think that's the answer for my sickness.
That's great. Okay, I think Teacher Nadia already shared the link for the quizzes. Please click on the link and join the quizzes.
Yeah, I think it's good to hear that most of the kids, they like school because they have a friend interaction. Yeah, so that's good to hear. Yeah, so teacher and school are also very important in the future. Okay, so everyone, let's join the quiz. The fun they have.
It's not a mechanical teacher. It's a real man, a real woman who is giving you a test. Now we will check comprehension. After having read the text, we are going to check your understanding of the story. Because every school, every teacher has to test students' knowledge and skills. But you will not have to put your test in the slot. You will just play, have fun, and we will see how much you remember, how you understand the story. So you have one more minute to join and play the fun they had. Now you can see that quizzes are quite easy to be done. You can create, so now you see a slide. It's kind of a lesson. I love slides because you can add some information on them, or you can have it just quiz, no slides, only multiple choice and other kinds of questions. All right, and please try to write so your name in a proper way, maybe even your country or your teacher's name, because after the session, the winners will be given a certificate by Teacher Amy and Teacher Yuri. And don't forget, in the chat box, there is a link to the certificates generator.
That's good.
So,
yeah, the English say the fun they had in the past. Yes. Yeah, the history.
So we start. Yes, we start. So Isaac Asimov, he lived in the 20th century, was an American science fiction writer, but he came from the USSR. He was born in my country. Then he migrated to America. He wrote more than 500 books, a well-known, a prominent, an eminent writer.
Found a real book.
Who found a real book? So,
Margie, Tommy, grandfather.
The time is up. Sometimes the time is slow. You see the reader's board. Sneha is at the top. Yes, Tommy found the book. Margie read real books. Grandfather or great-grandfather read real books. When he was a boy, he went to school and read real books. Grandfather or great-grandfather? Actually, it was her. It was her grandfather's grandfather. Then he came to be yes, he was a great grandfather, yes. Centuries ago, they read real. Sneha remains at the top. From Vietnam comes. So, television screen more than books. Margie, Tony, or Grandpa valued television screen more than real books. Margie, Tommy, or Grandpa. So it was so the podium remains, and it was Margie and Tommy. They valued television screen books more. Where did he find the real book? The answer. Where did you find the book? And he answered thoughtfully. The book in the attic. In the attic. So, and Edison comes from, so Edison from Vietnam comes to the top. Next. Book Tony found about what? You remember? Margie was surprised because she hated it. She didn't like it. And why should people write about this in books? So the book was about So Margie was surprised that the thing she hated most was written in the book. And it was about school. Yeah, it was about school. The book comes back. So yes. Hated school. Tommy, grandpa, mother, Margie, who hated school. Remember the spelling of the name. Now you develop your writing skills. So who hated school? Which character? Story hated school. One of the main characters. And it was, of course, it was named Margie. She hated school. Nethum comes to the third place. So Marge, not many of you remember that Margie hated school. Teacher, didn't want to be fixed. Done. The teacher was fixed away from the county inspector, and he came to fix the vacation teacher. He did. So yes, inspector. Here comes question number 10. Margie like the float of the screen of the mechanical teacher. And that was not inside the teacher. She had to put her tests. Yes, to be tested, to be checked. And the podium is changing a little bit. Yes. No, she hated school because she did badly at home. Yes. And the podium remains. Teaches them up. Yes, Yes, not a man. Bedroom in the school. So, Sneha is a top answerer. So she had a special schoolroom next to her bedroom. And so in my school, we had classes 6 days a week, Saturday. And what about Angie? When did she have classes? She had classes how many days a week? How many days a week did Margie have classes? You can write a number, you can write in letters, in a word. The mechanical teacher was on every day except for what days? So she had classes 7 days a week, 6 days a week, or 5 days a week. So, mechanical teacher was except Saturday and Sunday. That makes 5 days a week. And the podium remains. Yes, 5 days a week. It could have been in a number. Sometimes I'm not right in the test. So what kind of teacher choose? Teacher, you see, so I see the students of today as humans, and I'm happy. Each other. And you need us. without it. The majority are choosing the school of today. Taught in the classroom, together, discuss the homework, each other, go home together, and play together. Yes. As you will feel lonely in the home. You can share emotions. And here comes the final slide, just to remind you. Which book would you prefer? Real book or a paper book, or you would prefer to move electronic books like I do today? Of course, it is not good for eyesight, and paper books, they even smell of the book, and they always buy a new book, new textbook, because they like the smell of the fresh book, freshly printed. Yes. So choose the school of today, choose real books. Yes, the majority of them. And to remember, Margie was thinking about the fun they had. Though she hated school, maybe she hated the mechanical teacher, and she was dreaming about the school of the past when children had fun together. So that's all for today, for this game, and now we are waiting for the results. We are eager to learn to see the podium. And we see that Sneha is in the first place. Gok, Vietnam, is in the second, Sneha from Sri Lanka, and Katyana from Sri Lanka is in the third. Nethum, so today the podium is for Sri Lanka, and Ederson from Vietnam, I guess. So congratulations to you, teacher. Yuri, please take a screenshot for the certificates. And yes. Yes. Now we stop at this point. Thank you for playing the game. So I see you. Hello, nice to see you here.
Students from the first to the fifth rank, would you please to write down your full name on the chat box?
Yes. Those who want it.
Mr. Muhammad Feta, thank you for joining.
Yes. And don't forget, can you please, teacher Yuri, share the link for the certificate again?
Okay, sure.
Because some people came later and they will not see the link. And I will share the link for the Wakelet, because all the resources are there. No. All the resources are on the Wakelet.
And students and teachers, don't forget to copy the link for the certificate for participants for today's session.
And now we can, before we leave, we would love to give you the floor, and you can share your feelings about this story. But frankly speaking, I love this story very much. I read it for the first time maybe 2 years ago, and it was my dream to have a reading session to discuss this school of the future. And I'm happy that you came here to be together, to feel the school, to share your feelings. Now you can tell something. And which is more, makes me more happy that it's even happier that today so many new students and new teachers have come. And we would love to see you every Tuesday at this time. Or if you wish, you can request another day, another time, and we can arrange one more session for you, for your students. Yes. So Teacher Winnie, please rule.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Teacher Nadia. Personally, as a teacher, I also like this story, and it just reminds me when I was a little girl, a student. You know, to be honest, when I was a little girl, I like to study. I don't like school either. Too many tests. So I'm glad that today most of the kids, they say they like school and they like to be with a friend, study, reading, and love the paper, the books, real books. But I think this year, when we read the story, it's really, resonate because who knows that pandemic, right? So I think there are no absolute right and wrong because right now as a teacher, I'm also, embrace learning a new teaching model that I will be teaching students in the classroom hybrid, and there are some students, they are online. So for me, as an educator, as a teacher, I'm also learning a new way to teach. So yeah, so I think definitely the story, I love it. And also I'm thinking about how important an educator, a teacher to teach and to resonate with the student. So I think the most of the students, it's so glad that they love learning at a school. So which means I think we cannot, lose this kind of a system for students to learn. But as an educator, me, teacher, we need to rethink about how we can, inspire our students for learning. Yeah, learning by using this technological tool. And think about that. If it's raining, right? It's raining too hard. You don't need to go outside. You just have a schoolroom next to you. How convenient that would be. So I think I really love the story, inspire me, and also it's very interesting. Okay, yeah. So thank you. So like a teacher Nadia say, we have a new friends, new teacher, new student. Would you like to say something about how you feel? Yeah, anything. You are most welcome. So I saw teacher Muhan. Would you like to say something? Welcome. Welcome you.
Teacher Muhammad Feta, would you please to say something?
Welcome. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Do you hear me?
Yeah, but it's like so far, your voice is.
Is this okay now?
Yes.
Okay. Not very loud. Okay.
First of all, I'd like to thank you all for your great efforts to create such connections between people from different places and students from different places to come here together and to revive really the dead papers of books and stories and so on, and to give them life, to be taken into discussion in such live session. It's really very interesting. I'm sorry to come late because I had work this morning, but I was in a hurry coming quick to join your meeting because literature and writing stories or discussing stories is one of my preferable things. I'm really happy to join your team, and I hope that the next coming sessions to be with you and discuss everything in details. I'm really pleased to be with you on the hope for the best together.
Mohammed, and you know, our time difference is very big. That's why you can arrange another time so that your students could come. Another day, another time, and we can do it.
Yeah, okay. So we can arrange a time that is possible for me and my students to join.
Yes, because we want more participants to join in. We can have another session for you and your students.
It's a nice world. I'm sure that many will come to join in the next sessions, because we are really in need of this kind of discussions about stories and so on, because stories is not just something you know, it's a life living. It's something where you can go with your imagination without, and you trespass the borders of the real life and so on. So stories and discussing books. So it's really a very interesting thing or activity.
Yeah, definitely welcome. And also another part is that also you can like donate or give your country story. So teacher Nadia, Olga, they are very talented, or you can even write a script. So we can have a session about Morocco story, right?
Yeah, why
Yes.
not? That's a great idea. Why not?
To read stories from different countries, yes.
Yes, yes. So
That
thank you,
would be great.
teacher.
And I suggest having a story to be narrated by me and the group of my students.
Oh,
Nice, yes, even nice. All right.
yes, definitely welcome. So thank you, teacher Mohammed. And also, is there any other teacher or student? Would you like to like a comment, say something? Okay, so if not, I will over to teacher Urifa to wrap up and let do the end of the session.
Okay, thank you so much, International Children's Readers Club. It's a wonderful session today because, yeah, I think the stories are quite relevant to our situation today. So we can choose whether we have a mechanical teacher or a human teacher like me. So we can laugh, we can give you support, not only give you a homework, not only give you a task, but we can mingle together, we can share in everything together as a human, not only your student and we a teacher, just we teach knowledge, but we can share anything or that's you want. Okay, that's the interesting thing about this story, and I really like it. I think it's one of the best. And thank you so much for your participation, and don't forget to copy the link for the certificates on the chat box, and also please visit the Wakelet collection for today's session. You can find a video and also a script for today's story. And thank you so much. Thank you, teacher Amy. Thank you, teacher Mohammed Feta, Nadia, and teacher Olga previously also attended the session. But I think, and also thank you so much, students from Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Russia. Yes, do you want to say something? Okay. That's all for today's session. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye.